Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mark Loeffler Experience. Today we're going to be talking about a basic real estate deal and going through the basic real estate numbers. I know we go through a lot of different deals that that are pretty fancy, multifamilies, burring multifamilies, duplex conversion, triplex conversion. Yet I don't think we've ever really stopped to sit down and just examine a pure single family rental property and the returns you can get on that. So bear with me. Obviously, we've had some technical issues in the past, yet I'm going to do a screen share and hopefully this works. If not, then we'll do something else and you probably won't even see this. So if you're seeing this, it worked. We're up to about 785 subscribers. Obviously, goals get to 1,000. So if you find this stuff interesting, please share it with your friends, like and subscribe, and we will start. All right. So we're going to use the Hamilton St. Catharines market. It's just easy. I know it. I know the rents. You can do better, obviously, in other areas. You can do worse in other areas. So I think this is a good middle ground. Canadian market, Ontario, pretty close. So we're going to start with a purchase price of $500,000. That didn't work. $500,000. There we go. We're going to get a mortgage of about 80% on that because if we're going to do a rental property, that's what we need is 20% down. Unless we're living in it. So we have a land transfer tax of $6,475. Obviously, we're going to get it inspected. That's about $400. If we need an appraisal and the bank's not paying for it, it's another $400. And legal fee costs, including disbursements and your title insurance, is about $1,500, which brings you to a total investment of about $108,775. So for a property like this on the Hamilton Mountain or downtown, we just rented one of these for $2,500. And so we'll put $2,500 in rent, $30,000 annually. So tenant was responsible for all the heating, the electrical, and the water on that. Property taxes were just a bit under $300 a month, so $275. The insurance was right around $80 a month. Oops, that's annually, so now I have to do 12 times things. I think it's $960. No, it's not that much. Oh, it is $960. There you go. I was right. Pretty smart. Obviously, we got property management and we have repairs and maintenance. So I'm putting 8% in for property management, even though if I'm just going to tell you, if this was my property and it was my first home, I probably wouldn't get it property managed. It's a single family property. They're super easy. I know that most real estate agents you buy through can help you find a tenant, or you can just do that on your own and save a 1 month of costs. And then obviously repairs and maintenance, we use 5%. So we're about $125 a month. So our total operating expenses is pretty low. It's $421 a month, which gives us an operating income of about $2,078. Obviously, we have vacancy allowance. So on the Hamilton Mountain, the vacancy right now is around 1%. I always like to go a little higher. Again, I think I like property management. Number one, I would do it myself on my first single family home. And number two, as I could probably get it for around 6 to 7%, but I put 8% in there just to be safe. And so I'm using 3% for vacancy. And by the way, guys, this spreadsheet, Josh will make it shareable with a link down below. I know it's not as fancy as some of the other guys that you've seen on here. Yet this is what I use to buy my properties. I'm a pretty simple guy. I do a before and after. Because obviously I'm going to do work on the properties, and yeah, keep it simple is my motto. I don't like to complicate things. So here we have a mortgage of 2.4%, which is what you can, 2.4, 2.5% right now. Your monthly payment on that is $1,772. So this gives us a cash flow before taxes of $231. So even if you got $2,400, or let's say even if you got $2,300 on this property, you're still basically break even to positive cash flow. So your annual cash flow before taxes, everybody pay your taxes, everyone. And if you want to talk, I know we're going to have Peter Catini on here, or George Dubé on here to talk taxes at some point, and how to maximize your gains and and pay as little taxes as possible, because that's, at the end of the day, we pay a lot of tax in Canada, and sometimes we want to be able to not pay as much. I get it. Trust me, I get it. So cash flow before taxes is $231 a month, so $2,773 annually. So let's go back up. I just want to do some quick math here. So our total investment was $108,775. And our cash flow is $2,773. So now don't stop here, everyone. Don't stop. Just I know some of you are going to say, well, that's the worst investment ever. I'm making like a 2% return on my money. Now, obviously, if cash on cash return and cash flow was the only indicator of return on real estate, then yeah, this would be a horrible, horrible deal. Yet, we have two other avenues that we can use. We have two other things that show up for us in real estate that affect our return. Number one, we have mortgage paydown. It happens every year, as long as you don't, well, even if you refinance, you'll get mortgage paydown. Yet mortgage paydown, principal reduction happens every year, because obviously you're paying your mortgage, and as you pay your mortgage, you pay down the principal or the loan amount every month. So every month you pay that, the next month you pay a little bit more off the mortgage, and you pay a little less interest. We all know we pay the most interest at the beginning of loans and the least interest at the end. So for instance, on this property, we get mortgage paydown of $11,840 in the first year. So cash return was 2.5%, and the mortgage paydown is 10.89%. So now we're sitting right around 13% return. Now, some of you out there are going to say, well, that's horrible. I don't want 13. Some of you guys are going to say, well, I don't get that in my mutual funds. I don't get that from my advisors. And this is why sometimes just keeping it simple and not being fancy, you can just go ahead and buy a single family home, rent it out, get good tenants. I have good friends of mine who own 15 single family homes now. They've had tenants in there for 20 years. They've basically paid off their mortgage for them, and they just kept collecting them like piggy banks. And they bought another one, and they used the cash flow. They buy another one, and every year cash flow would go up a little bit, and they'd pay a little bit more off on their mortgage. And well, obviously we have the other part of this, which is appreciation. So in Hamilton, I don't know, what are we at right now? 6, 7%, 10% for 2020. So I'm going to use historical averages. I just think everything's going to revert to the mean at some point. So we're going to have some down years, we're going to have some up years. Yet overall, real estate's going to go up in value because, well, there's a couple of reasons. They devalue the dollar, so that means every dollar we earn, actually, we can buy less with it, right? It's called inflation, and that's their goal, is 2% inflation every year, and which means that labor costs more. It means that to build the house costs more, the land underneath it costs more. Everything's just going to cost more. So I use a 4% appreciation, which gets us a $20,000 net thing. So next year our property will be worth $520,000, right? So that's an 18% return, giving us a grand total return on our investment of 31.82%. So we're almost 32% a year in our first year. So even if you went ahead and took out cash on cash, say, listen, we bought it and the fridge went, or, it took us a month to rent it, or, we rented it right away, but we had the cost of 1 month's rent to lease it with a leasing agent or a realtor, and that came out. So we had zero cash flow. And that would still give us a 30% return year over year. And again, what happens in the next year on this? The next year, well, we're in Ontario, so I can raise the rent 2%. I mean, it doesn't sound like much, but that's $50 a month, right? And I get a little bit more mortgage pay down. So instead of $11,840, maybe I'm getting $14,000 or $15,000. And my appreciation, well, I just don't get 4% of $500,000, and I get 4% of $520,000. So now I'm $21,000 appreciation next year, $22,000, $22,000 next year. And now my return on my second year is going to be 45%. And honestly, it just keeps going better and better and better. And this is, again, a simple investment. You don't need to have property management for. And, sometimes just keeping it simple and not trying to get too fancy, it allows you to go live your life. You're not going to get calls for, last night I got a call because my retaining wall fell down in the rain on my 30 unit. This happens. Yet on a single family home, you're probably not going to get that all that much. Depends where you buy it. Yet, this is super simple. And this is why I love real estate, everyone, this is the simplest form of investing in real estate that I can think of. If you guys have other ways, please let me know. But if I can get 30% plus return per year on a super simple investment where I'm doing very little work, this is why I signed up. This is why I do it. And if you want to put a little bit of work in and say, okay, well, maybe I buy that property at $450,000 and I'll put $20,000 of work into it to make it $500,000. So it's not outrageous. Maybe I'm just painting and putting in a new bathroom or new flooring, new lighting, just cleaning it up a little bit, maybe clean up the landscaping a little bit, just to fix it up, to put somebody in. So now I have $30,000 that I've gained in equity first to get me to $500,000. So now again, I'm appreciating on top of that number, not $450,000, I'm appreciating on the $500,000, right? So now that just maximizes my return over and over and over again. Anyways, guys, I just thought I'd do a nice simple one for you today. Again, 25-year amortization. If I forgot anything, guys, comment down below. Let me know what I forgot.